My spoiled nephew demanded his inheritance at Grandpa's funeral, saying he was the only real grandchild. The estate lawyer asked him to define grandchild. My nephew Blake had been the golden child since birth. My sister Denise made sure of that. From the moment he could walk, he strutted around family gatherings like he owned everyone in the room. At 8 years old, he'd interrupt adult conversations to announce his needs. At 15, he'd take money from Grandpa's wallet because future inheritance might as well start now. At 22, he was still calling Grandpa every week asking for cash. Denise encouraged every bit of it. Blake's special. He's going places. Dad needs to support his only grandson's potential. She'd trained Blake to believe one fundamental truth. He was Grandpa's only real grandchild, the sole heir to everything. My daughter Mia didn't count because she was adopted. My other sister's kids didn't count because they were from her second marriage. Blake was the firstborn biological grandson, which in his mind meant the crown prince. Grandpa died on a Thursday. Blake showed up to the funeral in a Maserati he'd leased that morning. Told everyone at the service about his plans for Grandpa's house. That old place needs a complete remodel. I'm thinking modern, maybe a pool out back, tennis court where the garden is. Denise stood next to him, nodding proudly. It's what Dad would have wanted. Blake carrying on the family legacy. The estate lawyer, Mr. Crawford, scheduled the will reading for the following Monday. Blake arrived 40 minutes late, wearing sunglasses indoors. He walked straight to the head of the conference table and sat down. Let's make this quick. I have a meeting with a contractor at 2 about the renovations. Mr. Crawford looked confused. Renovations to what property? Blake laughed. My grandfather's estate, the house, the vacation cabin, the investment properties. I'm the only biological grandson. It all comes to me. That's how inheritance works. Mr. Crawford opened his briefcase slowly. Mr. Blake, before we proceed, can you clarify something for me? You keep saying you're the only grandson. What about Mia, Lucas, and Janet? Blake rolled his eyes. Mia's adopted. Doesn't count. Lucas and Janet are from Aunt Carol's second marriage. They're not real family. I'm the only one with actual Fletcher blood. Grandpa always said blood matters. Denise jumped in. Blake's right. Dad was very traditional about family lines. He always told Blake he was special, the one who'd carry on the Fletcher name. Mr. Crawford pulled out a document. Interesting. So, you believe biological connection to Mr. Fletcher determines inheritance? Blake leaned back in his chair. Obviously. I'm his DNA. The others are just people my aunts brought into the family. There's a difference between real family and paper family. Mr. Crawford nodded thoughtfully. I see. Well, let's discuss Mr. Fletcher then. He pulled out another document. Mr. Harold Fletcher, born Harold Kowalski, legally adopted by the Fletcher family in 1951 at age 3. The room went completely still. Blake's sunglasses slipped down his nose. What? Your grandfather was adopted, Mr. Crawford continued. The Fletcher parents couldn't have children. They adopted Harold from St. Mary's orphanage. He had no biological connection to the Fletcher bloodline. Zero Fletcher DNA, as you put it. Denise grabbed the document. This can't be right. Dad never said anything about being adopted. Mr. Crawford pulled out more papers. He was quite open about it in his legal documents. In fact, it shaped his entire estate plan. He believed family was about choice, not blood. That's why he was so delighted when your sister adopted Mia. It reminded him of his own story. Blake was turning pale, but he raised me. I was his favorite. He always said I was special. Mr. Crawford smiled slightly. Let me read from Mr. Fletcher's will. He cleared his throat. To my grandson Blake, who believes blood is everything, I leave this truth. I am not your blood. I never was. I was chosen by parents who loved me, just as Mia was chosen by parents who love her. Real family isn't about DNA. It's about showing up, caring, and contributing. Blake, you've taken from this family for 22 years without giving back once. Blake stood up, knocking his chair over. This is garbage. Even if he was adopted, I'm still his grandson through my mother. Mr. Crawford continued reading. To Blake, I also leave $1, the exact amount of genuine love and respect you've shown this family. The rest of my estate is divided as follows. The house goes to Mia, who spent every summer helping me in the garden while Blake was too important to visit. The vacation cabin goes to Lucas and Janet, who actually called me to talk, not just to ask for money. Denise was now standing too. What about me? I'm his daughter. Mr. Crawford turned the page. To my daughter Denise, who raised a son to believe he deserved everything while earning nothing, I leave my complete collection of parenting books. Perhaps reading them now will help with future grandchildren, should Blake ever learn enough responsibility to have any. Mr. Crawford pulled out one final document. Full story on channel. Link below.